remember when I was learning the first jazz tunes, I was literally learning all the chords, just one by one, just learning those letters, the numbers of D minor 7, G 7, C major 7, F major 7, everything. Just by the names, just the order of the chords. And for me it was total random what these chords meant. I had no clue. And when I was playing these tunes, it was literally hit or miss.
I cannot believe he's missed it!
I did not know anything. So I started improvising over these jazz tunes without any relation between the chords or the tune or the melody or anything. And this really slims down your possibilities to play great solos. And because of this missing relation between the chords and the tune and the chords themselves, all the chords become individual islands of sounds. So for each chord you need to come up with an individual language just to play that chord. So if you have the same challenge that I had, learning the chords but also learning them in relation, I want to show you 3 extremely efficient approaches that makes the process of learning the chords so much easier. And this also simplifies a lot of the improvising over the chords. Take the lesson manual and deep dive into the material there. There are lots and lots of exercises and licks that explains exactly this. What's really awesome with the lesson manual is that you can follow the lesson and having the lesson manual right next to you, and then pause the video and just look it up and deep dive into the material right there. Play along with me. And I promise you, this will triple the gain you get from this lesson. It's that easy. Download the lesson manual on Patreon. The download link is right below in the description. The total game changer for me when I was learning tunes was that each tune was in a key, and then I could block the chords into smaller groups, and this literally turned everything around. The first exercise I want to present to you is playing the chords up the major scale. You see that each chord has a name, and that the chords of the scale actually corresponds with the chords in the tune. And already with this information you can pair the chords in the scale with the chords in the tune, and you have immediate solo material. This chord exercise is much more important than you might think. The better you know these chords just up the scale, the better you can actually relate them into the tune. So I would strongly advise you to practice these chords in the scale, both up and down like here. So use many different types of exercises. Check out the lesson manual on Patreon because there are lots of exercises there for the chords. Another thing, add rhythm into the exercise that they become musical. And in this way you have direct solo material you can add into your tunes just like this. Playing these exercises and adding them into your music is also a great way to train flexibility on your instrument. And then I strongly believe that you should only play exercises that you can use in your playing. Do not waste your time on unnecessary exercising that you do not use. The effect of immediately adding the exercise into your music and playing around with these exercises. You practice your technique, you practice these exercises with the purpose of playing music. When you want to get a little bit further with the arpeggio material, you should check out the deep dive lesson manual because there are a lot of extended arpeggio exercises you can add directly into your playing and get a lot more solo possibilities. It's difficult to remember random things, right? It's difficult to remember all these long chord names. Try remember this. It's super hard because it doesn't make sense. But when you see that last picture, it actually makes sense because it's just car parts. This means you're bundling all these pictures into one thing, and that's what we're going to do now with the chords. Earlier I made this block of chords on autumn leaves, but why did I make this block of chords? And exactly as with the car parts, one block is much easier to remember than 100 different parts that has no relation. In autumn leaves I blocked the first 3 bars, the 2, 5, 1, and I literally remember D minor G7 C as 251. But to understand these numbers, why I call this a 251, we need to understand the relation between the scale and the chords in the tune. To get to the 251, I first add all the numbers to the chords of the scale. So 1 till 7. When you compare this, the D minor, the G7 and the C, you see that the numbers in the scale are 2, 5, 1, 2 D minor, 5 G7 C. Major is 1. Now I'm going to go a little bit faster over some theoretical stuff. We have 2 different 251s. We have the major 251 and we have the minor 251. And now we're getting to the pro level because this is exactly how the pros are thinking about chords. They bundle these structures, the 251 structures, and you see we have 6 251s, the major and the minor. So one song It's just 6 words. Major, minor, major, minor. You probably noticed there's something that I'm skipping. It's the F major chord and that A minor, A flat, G minor, F sharp. So the F, well, if we look at the scale, it's the 4th degree in the scale. That's just the 4th degree. We have the 2-5-1, then we go to the 4th degree, the F major. The A minor, A flat, G minor, F sharp is a different story. And we categorize this as a turnaround. Digging a little bit deeper, the turnaround is basically 2 5s. So A minor, A flat, G minor, F sharp. Then there's a lot of tritone substituted dominance in here, and I don't want to go into this now because that's a different video. But now we have the whole tune categorized. The major 2-5-1, the minor 2-5-1, the F major, and the turnaround. That's the whole tune. Here's another pro trick for you. Make it simple. We know that Coltrane solo on Oleo is a rhythm change, and we know that the chords are those above the staff. But what Coltrane is actually playing is C7 to F7, G7 to C. So Coltrane would think this very simple. He might just leave out a D minor and just play the G7. In a lick like this in the 2-5-1, he would just play G7 first and then into the C. For this, the 2-5-1 just becomes 5-1. So we just eliminated the D minor, just playing dominant all the way. This is pro level 1. The exercise would be train your dominance just playing those into the tonic. So the 5 to the 1. Leave that minor chord out of it. So this will change the progression to make it simpler, like 5-1, the 4th degree, and then we have the turnaround, of course. Pro level 2, skip everything you do not need to play. Dexter Gordon, he completely plays his own changes. So in the beginning of this Doxy solo, he changes the whole chord scheme and just plays tonal centers. He would just play C, going into a G7 and then back to a C. That's it, skipping all these other chords. For Autumn Leaves, this means we only have 2 tonal centers, the C major and the A minor. So what I'm doing here, I'm not really taking the D minor and the G7, I'm basically playing something that's not C, moving towards the C chord at the end. So there's much less focus on the D minor G7, I'm basically playing horizontally towards that G. And this is pro level, going directly for the target note. When you want to add these 3 types of 2-5-1s into your playing, I recommend you to check out the lesson manual on Patreon with tons of examples and exercises. If you need my help, I'm there on Patreon, in the chat and in the forum. I'm ready to answer your questions if you have any questions about this material. Download the lesson manual PDF via the link in the description just below. I strongly believe that ear training is the most important skill we can have as musicians when we are playing music. So you must hear what you are playing and what you want to play. Follow in Dexter Gordon's footsteps in this amazing video about how Dexter Gordon plays by ear. Play music. Have fun.